it's better if some other people go and do research in Apaa. Otherwise, those who reside in Apaa have suffered for a long, long time. I think I can stop here for now. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Honorable Betty Aolochan, the woman member of parliament representing the people of Agulu City, and also the former leader of opposition. And if you can recall very well, she was a woman MP Gulu district when it is still covered up to Apaa. And she speaks as an authority on that. Avento, kindly speak to us, introduce yourself, where are you speaking to us from?
Thank you very much, Joseph. Joseph, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes, thank you very much, Joseph, for organizing this baraza this week. I thank everyone who is now online with us. Joseph, entity that we want APA to grow into. For us as civil society, we look at APA as representative of so many areas that are experiencing similar problems in Uganda here. You know, when you look at APA and the things which are happening there, you will agree with me that it is not only happening in APA in Uganda, it is happening in several other. This is a social process that could have led into the building of a nation that we wanted to turn Uganda into. Although Uganda has been a creation of the British, but I think our forefathers who fought for the independence, who agitated for the independence of Uganda, would have really liked to grow a nation out of this idea of the colonialist. But APA stands as a very clear case of the state interfering with a natural process of nation creation. And I think it should come out clearly. And I am happy that the representative of the agents of this disruption are here with us, and we want to hear their view. And these agents have been clearly the army has been used as an agent of this disruption. Political parties have been used as agents of this disruption, and we would want to hear their perspective. But for us as civil society, we envisage a Uganda that may be multi-ethnic in history, but I think its future should be more of a nation that is built, particularly because we are champions of integration. But believe me, we are the biggest hypocrite at the East African community because we try to speak what we are not doing at home. Yeah, because to achieve an East Africa integrated, we must have a nation built. And if at home we are breaking up a nation that is being built, then we can't be messengers for regional integration. This is how we look at it. And I'm very interested. So I'm going to be listening in. I will give my views, but I also think I am also going to be learning from the people who have been in the forefront so that I can appreciate their views. But that is what I see. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vento. And of course, the Northern Baraza started around November 2024, looking at the issues of Northern Uganda. Over time, we've talked about agriculture, coffee, we've talked about safety. There was that period when it was a very big issue with the theft of children. I think there was a myth around the construction of Karuma Dam that people were, getting lost and all that stuff. Or Tong Tong was one of the topics. We've also talked about, economic development, politics. Today we are looking at Apaa district, its creation, and also the role of the UPDF. We had earlier on, I think his network, he tried connecting, but it was breaking. So I think he's looking for a better location. In the meantime, I just want you to confirm whether you can hear this. Another twist. Are you able to hear that?
Very poorly.
Not really.
Comes out very poorly.
Are you able to hear?
No.
Not really. Oh my God, it's off. We couldn't hear that
You couldn't hear, could you hear anything at all?
at all. I couldn't.
Couldn't, eh? Okay, I think I'll just look for
Surely I could.
for you. Well, that's where today's topic stems from, and that is Honorable
Just tell,
creation of Apaa district. And he said they were meeting the president today. And actually, right now, I think he's still at State House. I'll just wait to confirm from him whether he will be able to even actually speak. But I know that he went to meet the president with other leaders as well from northern Uganda here. And the main issue they are going to discuss about is the creation of Apaa. Why? Because there's been an issue of violent clashes allegedly between the people of the Acholi ethnicity and those of the Madi, and they are said to be fighting for this piece of land, which in 2017 was declared to be in a Jumani district. Initially, before that, Apalan was in a Amuru district, but of course, over time, territories changed, and the Minister of Local Government then, that's Honorable Tom Butine, actually announced that Apaa is in Ajumani district. And also the president reiterated that a few years ago and said that Apaa is in Ajumani district. A lot of commissions have been formed to go and settle the dispute in Apaa, and the president himself went down in Apaa and tried to pacify whatever was happening there. But it has been achieved. But when I visited Apaa a few months ago, it is not the Apaa of 10 years ago, not even the Apaa of 5 years ago, especially the trading center, which is not Apaa. It is very developed. I think about two buses use that route now, connecting from Ajumani to Gulu to Kampala, and they are parked there. The population has gone up, I think, from around 6,000 around in 2017 to something like 50,000. At some point, the former commander of the fourth division said there were up to about 70,000 people living in Apaa. That's just about a year. So these figures don't change because the UPDF came in. They said they were flashing out some of these people because they did not know why they were fleeing. Well, Martin, let me first ask you, what exactly is your paper, the article that you wrote about?
Thank you very much, Omago. Uh, Thank you very much, Omago. Somebody's background is really making a lot of noise. I don't know. Hello, can you hear me?
Let me try to remove that. I think that's a Butena. I've actually tried to disconnect him.
Okay. Joseph, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, please proceed.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we
Thank you
can hear
very
you.
much. Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, Joseph Omoga, for this Northern Baraza, especially this very edition, which has a very interesting topic. I want to thank the regular panelists. I want also to thank the guest speakers in the shape of Honorable Akol and then the division fourth commander and our dear listeners out there. Uh, I want to start by debunking the narratives that there has been a conflict between Acholi as an ethnic community and Mari as an ethnic community. I think when you look closely, uh, the Madi and the Chulis have been concomitant for almost a century, over 100 of years. I do not want to believe that in a 40 square mile area is so unique that there is a tribal kind of conflict that takes place there. For long, we have been arguing that there has been a false flag in Apaa, that some people seems to be using it to bring a narrative or an insinuation that there is a tribal conflict, when actually some people are trying to satisfy a certain intent that they have in Apaa. I don't think, because now when we look at that belt, Madis and Acholis have lived concomitantly, and they cross borders. Look at Apaa, go and look at the which around Thierry, go and look at Atiak, even in Atiak Town Council, part of Muruli, part of Achupele, then you go to Pachilo, Aterango, part of Bibia, you go to Elegu Town Council. The Madis have always been this side, and you find that Chulis are also in the other side of Pagiringa and other places. So, what makes Apa very unique that Madis begin to fight with the Chulis there? So, that narrative, I think, must change before we can discuss the issue of Apa very well. Joseph, uh, to come to the topic, uh, the issue of creation of a part district became very much prominent some few days ago, when actually Honorable the Clark North MP, Honorable Akol, in his defection manifesto, actually tried to draft in a document that gathered fame to be known as Operation Harmony. And one of those things in that document is the creation of a part district. And then I wrote an article about that, dissecting the Operation Harmony with a key focus on the creation of Apaa as a district. And in that article, I actually uh, asked some fundamental questions. And those are the questions that have lived with us for so many days, so many years, as far as the issue of conflict in Apaa was concerned. One of them is that districts that is going to be created, as long as I know, all districts have been created on certain lines. Now the question we are going to ask, will that district be in West Nile, or it is going to be in Acholi sub-region? That was the first question that I asked. And then, what is the essence of creating that district? How is it going to resolve the problems of a power conflict? Then the third question that I ask is that, can the districts go ahead to be created when we have not answered the first two questions? Okay, we have not classified, because like you brought in your introduction, at some point it was in a more district, then Butime, it was in a Jumani district. It looks like it is being sifted here and there for certain interests that we cannot explain right now. So before answering, before that actual classification, can that district be created? So that was a question that I actually asked in those articles, that in my own opinion, I looked at it as if the question of creation of a power district is merely for a creation of a buffer that the proponent of the idea seeks to actually move away from the burden of responding to questions of a power every time. So that was the verdict of the author of the article, which actually happens to be me. So we look at a bigger picture, because now we are going to ask. Let's try to answer these questions. Will it be in West Nile or in Acholi? That will be determined by how we shall classify. The president in one of, once he came the last time he came to Gulu, attending the crusade of our daughter. In that one, he actually reiterated that the this Apaa is in Ajumani. So I am now beginning to imagine, if that stands up to now, and then if that stands up to now, how is it that it is the MP from Acholi sub-region who brings in a proposal for the creation of a district that we actually do not represent? So these questions are very fundamental, and they need a lot of answering. And then another thing that I want to see is that, supposing that Apaa district is going to be part of a Moro, which is part of Acholi, doesn't it really overlap with the idea? Because the Minister of Local Government, apparently there was a proposal from a more district local government, Lack North, to become a district on its own, and then Pabo to become municipal. So if the classification suggests that Apa is in Amoro, okay? Apa is in Amoro district, and the creation of the district will be actually in Acholi sub-region. Then now, what makes the demand for Apa unique of a district which involves Apaa itself, which is the Kilak North district. So those are the fundamental questions that we really need to ask. And then the question is, how beneficial with that district? Because to me, I look like it's a buffer where people want to get rid of discussing the true issues that affect the people. At the end of the day, that is going to put the life of the people in so many, because they will be stranded. You don't know where to go to. You are not part of Acholi. You are also not part of a Juma in this case. I know the district cannot, a 40 square kilometer is so small. Actually, it is not 40 square miles. It is 40 meters. It's actually big. So it just zero. We cannot just zero. A population of this can never be 60,000 or even less. So we cannot just zero, meaning there must be some part of a human that should be carved, and then there must be some of the part of Amoro district that must be carved to form a par district so that they have a reasonable population. So are these people going to be in a no man's district? How feasible is that creation, and how is it going to run? I think, to me, it creates more trouble than a solution, because now, there is the question of Mari and Acholi in a power fighting, to me, is not there, but a creation of a district will eventually lead to that because of political reasons. So we need to look at issues of our power that we suggest should be something that is not actually a creation of a jurisdiction that just only convenience to leave their issue. But we need to look at a better solution for that. Now, coming to the question of what is the role of the army, I'm not a soldier, but then we are going to ask questions.
Before we reach to that part of the role of the army, we will have
Yes.
the commander of the 4th Division speak to us later on. Let's just maybe
Okay.
first for now handle the creation of the district, and then we shall cross over to the role of the army.
Okay. So if it is that, then I will come later. I would first listen to the army, because for me, I was thinking. I'm not going to dive deeper, but I was thinking. Uh, what is so unique about creating a district and then the army is brought into the question of their role? I feel there's no unique role that the army plays, just like any other new district that's going to be created. In case it goes through that it should be created,
Okay.
the army has have the responsibility of protecting everyone. Thank you very much, Joseph.
Okay.
That was my idea, and those were the fundamental questions I asked in the articles,
Of course,
and I
Joshua,
would
thank you
at
so
one
much.
some
But
point
of
seek
course,
for.
you know about
Yes.
the retrenchment of the troops in and around Apaa. That's why the army is in full context here.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Joseph, I was going to ask some questions, but I think I would now ask later when the division commander speaks.
Okay, please.
Thank you very much. Thank
I'm
you
going
for
to
giving this opportunity.
give a microphone to Solomon. Solomon has worked extensively in northern Uganda here, and I what are the of the creation of the new district came. Solomon.
Yes, Joseph. I didn't hear that question very well.
Solomon, we appreciate the work of Forward Day and of course your personal input here in northern Uganda as a regional coordinator. And we want to understand, first give us a picture of what you've seen on ground in Apaa, even before the issue of the creation of the district came into context. And what do you think now will happen if this district is created?
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Joseph and the panelists. I also thank my brother who has just been from speaking. Um, Among the people who have been really advocating so much in the activism about the conflicts in Apaa, I have been among the people who did what we call the peaceful protest walk to Apaa. That was last year, I remember. Um, we did not reach that place because of one reason or the other. But for me, as an activist in the region here, I do feel a lot pain on what the Apaa people are going through, the pains that the Acholi people are going through because of the conflicts in Apaa. We may be seeing a relative peace right now, relative calm in Apaa, but you never know what tomorrow will bring, how the people of Apaa will actually go to the next day, because anytime you find that or you hear that people are being killed, yeah, houses are being burned, so it really pains us. It pains us a lot. We have the elderly people who knows very well the background of this Apaa land conflicts, or the background of Apaa. For us, we are young people, but now we feel the pain, I think, even more than the elderly people. Because one, it is the youth who are being used, it is the youth who are being killed majorly. People between 18 to 35 years, you find that they are being killed. Houses are being burned. The women, they are suffering seriously with the children. So this background, the elderly people should really help us. Omagoro and the rest of us, several attempts have already been made. And in any case, I can say nothing more has not yet been done. Every effort has already been done in Apaa. We remember during the time of General Aronda Nyakairima, what happened? It was all in the efforts to make sure that there is relative peace in Apaa. So we come up to currently where a judicial system of inquiry has been set that to follow up on the issues of Apaa, to do a lot of research, to come up with a concrete solution of what should be done in Apaa. But to this date, we don't know what has been done. Everyone is wondering. But what we see is all about conflicts, but also currently we see the soldiers are there. They've been taken to keep the place calm, to keep peace in the area. But as I said earlier on, we still don't know the objectives, what can be done after. So majorly, we find that we are in dilemma. We are really in dilemma. What can we do? Since even the elderly, the politicians from Acholi, they have done a lot. I am hearing you saying those of Honorable Col Anthony in State House. For me personally, I don't think it's going to create the everlasting solution that we need. Because first of all, that conflict is still going to be there. Because now, who could be the owners of this land, as my first speaker has said? And then also the ethnic and cultural tensions. The ethnic and cultural tensions will increase, because now we shall not accept, like the Acholi people, they are not willing to accept that the land is for the Ajumani people, and the Ajumani people also, they are not in agreement that the land belongs to Acholi. So that thing, it's going to be there seriously. Land disputes and fragmentations is going to be there. Also, something like displacement of people is going to take place. If you are supposed to create an administrative unit People are going to be displaced. But now, where are these people going to be? What could be the rehabilitation process or the processes that we have? Is it going to be fair enough for the people who are settled there? What about the resource distribution to the people of Acholi and then the people of Adjumani? How will the government act? Is it going to be fair enough to these two conflicting tribes? And then also the administrative challenges. There's so much going to be dispute of the administrative challenges. The boundaries. Who is going to own this? Who is going to own this? You know, people are talking about a looming resources that we have underneath the land. So who are going to be the owners of these resources? So we also see something like potential for elite capture. It seems there is some interest there in the Apaa land that many of us seems not understand, because now for several times attempts have been made, but there's no lasting solution to this. Conflicts are ever escalating like that. What could be the interest behind? Because it is we believe it is the elites, those people with interest, they are the ones who are triggering conflicts every time. So our plea to the government, our plea to those individual people is that they must think about human being. Involving people who are very innocent into these fights is not going to help us. It's not going to take us anywhere. I believe the chairperson of Adjumani is here. We have the member of parliament for Acholi is here, who was also is the caretaker of the Acholi parliamentary group, Megobeta Ocan. I still trust in that. Let us look at the lives of the people. Let us try to create peace. Let's try to engage government. The leaders, the elders, the religious leaders, they must engage themselves such that we can end this war in Acholi and Adjumani. We can also see that there is going to be increased politicization of this issue. We have now seen the member of parliament of that area of Kilak North, that is Honorable Akol Anthony, who has now turned on the side of the government. We believe that if somebody has changed to the government, how and will that person have any voice to say no for this land? It is a very big question that the Acholi people are having right now. And the bargaining power, what are the bargaining powers that we are going to have as the Acholi people? Since now, the people whom we trust that they could help us defend our rights on this land, it is so that goes back to the question that maybe the elites themselves, they have an interest. And even people, there's a rumor that maybe there is an award that has been given to people who are joining NRM. So I don't know, it's an allegation, but to us, the Acholi people, we find that that's a betrayal. Because now we have given a lot of hope, we have given a lot of power for you people to defend us, but now we are not seeing anything. But we also see that there are other things that are unintended consequences that may happen. What something maybe like environmental degradation may take place unknowingly because of a lot of destructions that has been done in that area. So majorly, I see that the elders should really come together, not just a few people. Like I hear just a few people are going to the State House right now. They're going to discuss those issues, but they should be in consultation also with the community. What are the community saying? Are they going to represent us rightly, or they are going to talk on their interests? So we don't know what's going to come out from the State House. But what I can say is that the president has already announced, the president of the Republic of Uganda has really announced that Apaa land, it is in Germany. But now, where is our bargaining power? That is the question that I leave with the leaders, because if we don't handle this well, it's going to spark another war, which is going to be everlasting in our land, which we don't need that. So generally, that's what I can say. I may come after to talk about the issues of the UPDF in that area. Thank you so much, Joseph, and everyone listening.
Thank you so much, Solomon Nokrach. And of course, you raise a very pertinent questions there. And right now, as we speak, I've just got communication from Honorable Anthony Akol that the meeting at State House is concluded. And he will be joining us shortly. So let's wait for Honorable Akol so that he will give us an update on what exactly transpired there. Now, the microphone goes to Honorable Council Stella Kijange.
Wow. Thank you very much, Joseph, for this opportunity. Creation of Apaa district and role of UPDF. Members, I'll share my knowledge of Apaa in 3 phases. One is the professional part, where professionally as a lawyer, I was employed with LWF, Lutheran World Federation, between 2018 to 2020. And while there, during legal aid, we had what we call REHOP. REHOP is Refugee Host Population Empowerment Program, where 70% was given to the refugee community and 30% to the host community. So during the case management, we had legal advice, follow-ups of cases from police, court, among others. We did referrals, we did prison visits, the prisons in Openjiji and Olia. So while there, in my professional work, I interface with witnesses, suspects, accused persons, inmates or remandees, convicts, those acquitted, among others. And majority spoke Acholi or spoke Acholi. I was confused, I was shocked, wondering why actually were speaking, were being arrested, detained, remanded, or prosecuted from Germany, and yet in Acholi or Amoro we have our own court system. So the question of jurisdiction, the territorial jurisdiction of court was lingering in my head. So while there, I picked interest because as an Acholi, I became an ambassador of Acholi wherever I was. I picked interest and I resorted my 30% to providing legal aid to the people of Apaa. So this happened from 2018 to 2020. So one time, what I noticed while I was there was that majority who were arrested and detained had national IDs reading Amoro, but the jurisdiction was in Adjumani. And because of the rampant arrests, I had to involve the leadership of Amoro district. You may forgive me if I've not mentioned some leaders that I never came across. It's because of maybe their being available to me at the time that I called them. So, once you're in court, it becomes a chain link. Sometimes some activities are done by the lawyers, others are done by leaders. So once my work as a lawyer is done in court, I would involve the leadership of Amoro. And that was when I met Honorable Anya Gilbert. When I was now done with my legal work as a lawyer, I would invite him to come and pick his people from Amoro. I didn't know there was Kilak North or Kilak South. I only knew that there was Amoro and the people of Apaa are coming from Amoro. I did not know the electoral area being falling within Kilak North or Kilak South. So this kind of activity happened. It went on and on. The chain link of arrangements between the leaders and me and the Jumani court and the entire system went on and on for all these years. I wasn't a politician. I was doing it undercover for the welfare of our people. So one day we held a meeting. Let me hope the LC5 is around. We held a meeting in 2019 when Honorable Dongoto and Olanya Gilbert came, like they used to do. This time, Honorable Dongoto also accompanied Olanya Gilbert for what we used to do together. And we held a meeting with the G1 by then. She was called Nakato. She said she was tired of the trumped up charges against the people of Apaa. She even posed the question of whether Apaa was in Amoro or Ajumani. Because as a judicial officer, you are also limited by territories. There is what we call territorial jurisdiction of a judicial officer. So she was also limited. She was confused. She didn't know what to do. And the question of whether or not Apaa was in Amoro or Jumani was unanswered. And we concluded that it remained a political question. And we still saw in 2019 still, another occasion happened where we were transporting those who were acquitted back home. And this time around, I moved with them. I moved with them from Mungula to Apaa and then to Amoro. As we reached Mungula, as we reached Apaa at a trading center called Junction. Junction, I think, is the busiest trading center there. What I witnessed personally was the presence of the UPDF. Number two, the wanton felling of trees. Three, massive burning of charcoal with huge trucks. Huge trucks as tall, I don't know how many meters. You know those, the longest truck, if you can imagine. And sacks of charcoal loaded as high as you can ever imagine. Another thing that I also witnessed was alcoholism. And what we saw there was selling of wine. They call it pine. There's an actually word that they use for that term of the wine made locally called pine, something like that. And you realize that a sack of charcoal is sold by a community by a person from Apaa at 8,000. By then it was 8,000 in 2019. And someone, I'm not being tribalistic, but the majority of the people who are felling the trees and burning charcoal were Baganda. And they were buying a sack of charcoal at 8,000 from Acholi or from a Madi within Apaa and selling, and they would sell far away at 80,000 or 100,000, wherever they would do it. So these are the challenges that the people were facing. And these challenges were being faced by the people of Apaa, of the Madi community, and the Acholi within Apaa, until the Executive Order number 3 of 2023 was issued and the president put an end to the charcoal burning. My second phase of Apaa was from 2021 to 2024. I was no longer employed with LWF. I was already out of that place. But my legal aid continued. We continued doing the prison visits. We continued welcoming those acquitted and reintegrating them or uniting them with their families. I continued doing that with most of the leaders, in particular, Honorable Anya Gilbert. And then we saw in 2023 under K. Acholi, because of the rampant and endless conflict that kept on arising from Apaa, our Royal Highness wrote David Onena Chana II was so concerned, and this became a matter of actually emergency. And he convened leaders at Kekwaro. He advised them. He also informed them that he would join a protest to show or to mourn the rampant killing of his subjects that were in Apaa. So when His Royal Highness called the subjects to protest with him, I also followed suit with others, where we walked. We walked, though it prematurely ended at Pabo Trading Center, but the kind of walk was to show solidarity for our people that have been dying from Apaa. We also witnessed His Excellency, the President of Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, create a judicial commission of inquiry into the matter. Several leaders advocated for peaceful coexistence. We witnessed also the Prime Minister, where she ordered for the distribution of iron sheets to the Apaa victims. So all these political events happened during, I witnessed them between the period of 2021 to 2024. And then thirdly, the third phase, that formed the gist of my discussion, is that my maternal side, by the grace of God, comes from Amoro, and in particular, Lamogi. So oftentimes when I go to visit my grandmother, we talk politics, we talk history. And I asked her, I was like, Grandma, how did you people live those days with the Mahdi? Did you have conflict? I was asking her about Apaa. I wanted to know the genesis of the conflict that has been happening for years. So my grandmother told me, I quote, that there was no conflict between Acholi and Mahdi. We have been intermarrying ourselves. We lived peacefully and harmony. There was actually maximum peaceful coexistence. She even gave me an example that during Obote's regime, they would go and dance Apiri. I think Apiri is a political dance. She said they would go, as Acholi, go and dance at Apaa, deep up to where the Nile is. That they would go there and dance peacefully with the Mahdi community, and there was nothing like conflict. She even stated that, you see, the culture site we have here as a Moro hot spring is also in Mahdi, and I witnessed that. When you move from Olia, as you proceed to Pagirinya, not Pagirinya, yeah, as you proceed to Pagirinya, there's a shortcut that takes you to Amoro. There's also a Moro hot spring in Mahdi. So to me, what we are seeing, the conflict being claimed, or Apaa being claimed by three people here. We have the Jumani district, Amoro district, and then Uganda Wildlife Authority. Historically, we know Apaa was declared a hunting area in 1963, but it became a wildlife reserve in 2002. So now, the challenges or the issues now arose when the site was declared a game reserve. I mean, the area was declared a game reserve in 2002. Now, before we even look at whether Apaa should be declared a district or not, have we resolved the issue? Or what is the issue between the Mahdi and Acholi community? What is that issue that our leaders have failed to identify? So to me personally, Apaa is just a political question. It is political. It is a political question that is being fueled by politicians for their own selfish interests. If you look at Amoro as a district, Amoro alone, if you remove the land question, you remove the issue of Apaa, you remove the issue of Lakang, you remove the issue of Atiak Sugar, you remove the issue of Balalo, what will our politicians have as political capital? Are they talking socio-economic development? Have they tried to empower the community living in Apaa socially, economically? You see, what happened is that when the Baganda came to Apaa, the Baganda are very sharp people, by the way. They came to Apaa, they saw a source of livelihood. They saw charcoal. They began felling tree, making money. By the time Mahdi woke up, by the time Acholi woke up, it was too late. They had already made money. The Baganda saw that Apaa was very fertile. They began growing crops. They began making money. What have our leaders done to socially or to economically empower the people living in Apaa? Let alone the aspect of Apaa being Mahdi or actually is not necessary. Is not really very necessary. But have we really empowered the people living in Apaa economically? And what are they fighting for? If they're fighting for infrastructure, have the leaders advocated for that? Have we tarmacked the road right from here up to Dongnam? Or up to where, Dongnam in Mahdi, I don't know, up to where the river is, River Nile. Have we done that? Have we advocated for better roads or tarmacking the road? Have we advocated for social services in Apaa, hospitals, schools? Have we done that? If advocating for a Moro district alone has failed, why are we again advocating for creation of another district? That is a waste of resources. I'll come back later, Mr. Speaker. I'm becoming emotional.
Thank you so much, Sarah Kiange. Honorable Council, please try to put the emotion to take, because we are trying as much as possible to be objective. and we have Major General Felix Busisori online. He is still figuring how to connect with us so that he'll be able to speak. I think the microphone has an issue, but he is listening to everything that he's saying. And of course, the uncertainty surrounding the security of the people who reside in Apaa. And also, he will be able to tell us exactly, according to the latest and of course intervention done by the UPDF, who is there, who is not supposed to be there, all that he will be able to answer once his microphone is activated. Let me invite Honorable Betty Aolochan so that she can first speak to us. When she was a member of parliament and represented the people, what was the situation what was the situation like? And then did you see it erupting to what it is like now? Honorable Betty Aolochan.
Hello? Yes. Can you repeat the question because it keeps on breaking?
Oh,
The
sorry.
network?
Let me
Yes.
repeat the question. We are saying we appreciate your contribution on the floor of parliament. You've been very vocal on the issues of people in Acholi land and those in the country wholesomely. But now, when you were on the floor, when you represented the people of Apaa from 2006 onwards, what was the situation like back then? And then now, did you see it evolving and erupting to what it is like now, whereby members of parliament and other leaders are speaking for it to be made its own district so that the conflict between the people who reside there is stopped?
Thank you. The issue of APA is a complex problem. I told you I was elected in APA, but I did not complete a complete term of parliament in APA because Amor was then coined out of Gulu district. Amoro and Noya went. It was just Amoro district. And it was until 2012 that we started experiencing problem of APA. The first the first thing which happened in APA was when they evicted our people brutally. I think the person who headed the operation was called Grace, a police officer called Grace. We went to Apaa, found the huts were torched, our people were chased, they were fought, and they were just on the street. Some of them were up to Pabo on the veranda, and we stopped that operation. Some were arrested. Either they wanted even to kill some, but why I say the situation became too complex was that then the leaders of Ajumani, the MPs of Ajumani, were very hostile to us. That made also the MPs of Acholi a little bit hostile. You find that even the school which was operating there, the health center which was operating in Apa, were their what their consignments, especially for the health center, was kept in Amoro, Amoro district headquarters. We try to interrogate, but even our entry to APA became a challenge. Sometime when I was already a leader of opposition, I was stopped by, is it can I call them army officers and police. They stopped us at the roadblock. We fought. I was moving with not few MPs, but very many MPs from opposition. I think we were more than 13 in my two cars and then in a bus. They stopped us. They said we should go get permission from Ajumani. Never in any district have we been told to first get permission from a district before we can enter that district or that sub-county. It was only in Apaa. We were cleared by Parliament, and Parliament spent resources for us to come and see what was existing in Apaa. But we were completely stopped, and we left. That time we had scheduled also to reach Aswaranj, but in Aswaranj there was no problem. And the third area of land was in Parachele, in Palabek. There we found we were stopped. The youth were uh, uh, drunk, or they were made to drink and get drunk, demobilize people. But all the same, we went up to is it a chief's place. The youth came to almost wanting to fight us, but we told them we were there for them, not for us. Personally, I don't have any piece of land in Parajele. So I was there to protect the interests of the Acholis. So the youth actually were very shallow-minded that time, either because of the intoxication with this alcohol or what. That we were very smart, coming out smart. Land also belonged to them. They would sell it the way they wanted, or they could do anything with it, with the land. So we had no business there. That time, I think I was not happy with the leader, with the the leader, one of the leaders there. I don't want to call names. That was a minister who said we didn't have any business there, and yet we went just to do our oversight role. So two places, Apaa and Parachele. Apaa in particular, we never enter. At least Parachele we entered. So that is why I say the issue of Apaa is very complex. It became more than a political issue, because wherever we went for political work. But why was it that Apaa that we were never allowed in? I moved as an MP before of opposition. We moved to a port. I remember there was a time that Honorable Kelly and my late husband really became very protective of me. These people wanted to spray even pepper spray on in my eyes at the roadblock, because we were forcefully going to Apaa. So that is why I keep saying we should not blame leaders. The leaders have been trying very much. We wanted even cultural leaders tried. We have not sat until when then um, the president decided that he was going to put in place is it a judicial inquiry, which up to now we are still waiting. Parliament sent is it an ad hoc committee, appointed a committee and sent to Apaa. They came out with a report, which report also never really solved the problem. So problem of Apaa remains up to now. If people were peaceful, we would not go to antagonize them. But there was no peace. Our people were being killed left and right, center, and arrests taken to prison. And the prison, they were always taken to Ajumani instead of, bringing them to Amoro. So in parliament, we discussed this over and over. Sometimes we try, even as women. I remember one time we were four women and then a man. The man was Honorable Gilbert. Still, we were stopped very, very much. I think that was also Lakang. So, Honorable Stella Kijai said, we have not empowered people there. How do we empower people who are just on the run all the time? People who are properly settled and peaceful can be empowered. But people who are on the run, who are quarreling all the time, who are being attacked most time, and for us, the people in this side, in Amoro side or in Acholi side, believe that there were some hidden agenda by some leaders in that side. We condemned very much, is it Honorable Moses Ali, the Right Honorable Moses Ali, because it looks like he had some hidden what interest that to date we have never we have never established it properly. Some other people said, he said if if Ajumani keeps him there, uh, he will reclaim, he will make sure that Apaa becomes part of Ajumani. So probably, but that is just an allegation. I don't want to say that it is a confirmed word. And there is no proper good working relationship between Choli and Apaa. I mean, and Ajumani. I know that like Honorable Jessica was, she was here in Gulu University. She was very close to my late husband. She was very close to us. We took her as our daughter. But when that issue came, she kept a bit of a distance, and things, you know, relationship once built became a little sour because of what? It became sour because of a power issue. So, it's just like I said, APA needs proper research. The last time I went to APA, we went. Um, it was the fourth division commander who led us to APA. We went and found the tribes there. We are very many. The tribes became many, and even the Cholis and the Madis became few. Those, the Bagandas, or as can I say, the Bantus were more in number. And we said, how are we going to handle this case of Apaa? So the case of Apaa still remains, it remains unfinished, or it is not yet unresolved. It is unresolved to date. And sometimes the brutal killing makes it very hard for us. You know, the case of Apaa, I am sure Stella also, as somebody who worked with the NGO, should know that at one time, was it in the compound of human rights? Is it human rights what? It was UN human rights, close to senior quarters. The people of Apaa came and they were there because of complaint. Still, nothing good came out of that kind of demonstration. They came, they resided there in the compound of UN Human Rights, I think. So the NGOs have been trying, the leaders have been trying. Can I say even the president tried, because I remember he even put there some, apart from the judiciary, um, he also put there the religious leaders mixed with the political leaders to try and handle. And that meeting was in the barracks here in Gulu. And I still want to say nothing concrete has actually come out of all these efforts. Many efforts have been tried by both parliament, president, and I'm sure even NGOs or development partners. So it is yet unresolved. Yes, some other people say since it is a difficult area now, also in the constitution, if a local government, but that is not a complete unit, a district or an administrative unit, if it becomes difficult to be managed by the local leaders, then sometime president takes over the place. Or if not, then if not, then there is this thinking of creating an administrative unit to be a district of its own. Well, those are just suggestions or proposals. They have not yet gone through. So we may have as many proposals as possible. Then if we can succeed in any one of them, that will be our greatest happiness. Our greatest happiness is to see that Apaa people, whether from which tribe or which tribe, should be in peace. They should live in peace. Acholi and the Madis have lived, they have coexisted together from time immemorial. Why now? What is the hidden or the underlying cause of a power being in conflict? Yet the Madis and the Acholis, some of us have even our great grandparents originated from Madi. So now why should we be fighting? This is why I say some research needs to be done. Even now, the research can still, people who want to see peace, especially those who do conflict studies, they should take that as part of the what? As an, is it an area of conflict resolution and peace building, if we want to take that seriously. So this is what I can say. The proposals have not yet been taken, have not succeeded. These are just proposals. We don't know what the Ajumani people are proposing, and we need to live together as Ugandans. We don't need to get visa from Germany in order for us to visit Apaa. Even if they declare that Apaa was a Germany, it was one time that when Honorable Linda was um, RDC of Amoro, when we went, she came and told us, Apaa is no longer Apaa is no longer. That means originally Apaa was, but it is no longer in Amoro. Apaa, whether it was by transfer or what, is now part of Ajumani. So this, we think that is depriving the people of Amoro, depriving also Acholi. You know, land matter is a very, it brings in conflict. So it is still there. The problem still remains. I see here that Apaa, creation of Apaa district and role of UPDF. I I think it's just a proposal. It has not been discussed as yet. We want to see a time that it will be discussed either in parliament or in very many fora. People just have to give their views. Then we see how to move. We see the way forward. This is, I think for now, let me stop here. The best people to give us uh, is it in-depth information on this should be people like Honorable Akelo Lucy and Honorable Akol, because that is their area, probably plus some of the honorable councillors. That is from Acholi side. We also wait from a Jumani side. We cannot dismiss also their view. Thank you very much. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Honorable.
Yes. Sometime I told you. Sometime I told you that network is not the best. I hope I have talked a lot. I hope you have understood what I communicated.
Yes, Honorable. You've been loud and clear. Thank you very
Yes.
much. You can just mute your microphone. We are going to have a very speaker next. But first, I had a chat, not just a chat, but I had an interview with both Honorable Anthony Akol and Honorable Lucy Akelo. And according to their understanding, it looks like the best solution to bring an end to the conflict between the people of Acholi and Madi who reside within Apaa. That's if it's only them who are affected by that conflict, is to create a district. I actually spoke with Honorable Lucy Akelo just yesterday. Then I spoke with Honorable Anthony Akol last week. That was after they had a press conference on working with the government. But beyond that, I've also had the chance to speak with the Honorable Chairperson of Ajumani District, the Nyama. And for him, the last person the last Madi person will actually die in a fighting for it to remain under Ajumani District local government. And statements on both sides have been very intense in terms of violence in the words. Honorable Anthony Apollo today that they are looking at national issues. How can we as a country settle this dispute here? Then also he said he is the current chairperson of WOC. WOC is West Nile, Acholi, Lango, and Karamoja. He's just had that meeting with the president, and he says if all goes well, he'll be able to join us shortly. So that's basically it. But before I hand over the microphone to Major General Felix Story, the commander of the UPDF 4th Infantry Division barracks here in Gulu, let me just read two crucial comments on our discussion today. This is Dima Obol. He says, APA has never been difficult, but few selfish leaders in Acholi want to deliberately make APA ungovernable. Otherwise, government has clearly pronounced itself using geotools or geotools, yes. Then why is it difficult for these leaders to accept that fact and give peace a chance? I will also read another one from this is from William Apukomoi. William says, though I will be patiently waiting to hear from the panelists, and I think he has already heard all the other speakers. In his opinion, he says, I do see it's a good move overcome all the battling situations our people of Apaa are going through, since the demarcation will clearly be initiated unless otherwise. There are so many other comments under this X space here on X. In case you can't access, just go to my personal X page, and then I will be seeing it on my timeline. So now, let me give a chance to the Major General to us, so that he can address some of the questions that have been raised. Afande? Uh, Maybe before we go there, let me see if this can be solved as soon as possible. Let me give a chance to two people, and then we get back to Afande, because I see his network has again broken off. James Onono Joke, you requested the microphone, I gave you, and now I'm activating it for you to speak. Just keep it within 3 minutes, and after that, we shall have Dr. Labeja also for 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Joseph, and all the panelists. Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Well, members, I think the UPDF coming now in Apaa, to me, is a good thing, because as Megaol Betuchan, I want to appreciate Megaol Betuchan, because among the leaders of Uganda, or from northern Uganda, she's among the rare breed, because for all Betu Chan, you don't have to be anybody, but once you call her, she'll pick your call, and as a leader, if she's busy, she'll tell you she's busy. So Mama, I want to appreciate you, because I think you have demonstrated what leadership is. So based on the history Megaol has said, it's just not Megaol. Even I remember religious leaders attempted to go to Apaa. At that time period, they were also denied entry to Apaa. Somebody talked about the history of Apaa, but I also want to tell you that I was in Apaa when I was a serious practicing journalist. And what I know is that the historical stories are told both sides favoring both sides. The Mahdi would tell it favoring them.
Joseph,
Can you hear
am I
me?
the only one not picking James?
Hello?
James, you loud and clear from my side. Polymath is saying he's not picking you very well.
Are
Solomon,
you
can you
picking
hear
me
James?
now?
Please continue.
Yes,
Yes.
loud and clear.
So I was saying, somebody was talking about the historical side of Apaa, the stories that were told to be the origin of Apaa, which I said, in my thinking, the elders from Acholi would narrate it favoring them. And when you go and meet the elders objectively from the Mahdi side, they will also narrate favoring them. So that history, the reality, has not been found. Council Kijai is here. I think also our law gives the minister that authority if there is a boundary dispute. And I think Honorable Butime at that time exploited that law and did what he had to do. But in journalism, for peace journalism, just like as Megaol has said, I think for peace, we have majorly been saying Apaa a contested area between Madi and Amuro, or between Acholi and Madi. It is true that when you take a deeper analogy of what Apaa is, there are cases of intermarriages which really removes the idea or the perspective of tribal clash. Because the truth is, many people from Acholi ran the other side during the time of the insurgency, and they were kept well. And these people stayed longer without anything until, just as Megaol Beta Chan said, we got the politics of alleged Bruce Martin, who said wanting to appoint a hunting place. There are so many fallacies about Apaa, including other confirmed reports saying there were minerals in Apaa and government want to use a trick to take away people. But all in all, moving way forward, I think if creating Apaa district, in my opinion, is a neutral strategy to put peace that is embraced by everybody. then I think is the way to go, because the most important thing is that it is on record that our people have not been receiving services. And I want to thank the UPDF, because under the current 4th Division commander, he tried. They went and rejuvenated the health center, which was already collapsing. And then somebody was asking the UPDF role. Come on, the LRA are not there. So we expect UPDF to do other things apart from fighting. I want to thank the 4th Division commander. He went to deeper in Lakang, provided medical services that site. Definitely, those are the things we will now expect from the UPDF, because if the war is not there, they should join in other wars like poverty and all this. So if creating a power district, in my personal opinion, would create a neutral peace and make people be at par, I think I really support it, because just like Mego said, it's just like an alternative as we wait for others. If there are many others, because really many mechanisms have been put in place. And I'm glad that people can now move to Apaa freely, because those days going to Apaa was hard. Even the network, Joseph, you have been practicing journalism here when you were a child like me. Going to Apaa, sometimes if you want to communicate back to your newsroom, you need to climb a tree for network and all that. Apart from that, also people there were really, really indoctrinated in the wrong way. If anybody wears any color of t-shirt, whether yellow and whether, provided it is yellow or whatever, but because Apaa people had been indoctrinated that any color of t-shirt is dangerous. I remember as a journalist, I was putting on a yellow shirt, but the yellow shirt had no symbol of any political party. They even forced me to take it out that time, many years ago. So that place has been in confusion, and if moving way forward, we'll put that place to grow, to develop, like we have seen the health centers being rejuvenated, services restored, and people are happy. For me, it's a better deal than going into the old drama. So if the president can give us that guarantee, because peace is what matters, and if we have recorded death, I think more than 10 people, and even more. Joseph, you're still in active journalism. You could have this statistic, have died because of the issue of Apaa from different prism and perspective. So if this would put an end to such, then I am very much in support that a district be created. I don't care who spearheads, if the UPDF after all is Uganda People's Defense Forces. They are the forces for the people, and I'm very proud of them, because the health center has been rejuvenated and services are back there. So I don't care who comes and does it, but the most important thing, like Megaola said, peace is what matters. If our people are peaceful, they are enjoying government programs, because of our sideline issue of government programs was not going there, and many other services from government. So if this would sort that, definitely I wrote in that Apaa becomes a district, and if they are contented with it, they are peaceful, nobody disturbs them, they enjoy government services, they are treated as citizens of Uganda, why not? Apaa can become a district, in my view.
That's of course a veteran. Something about network. In my first days to go to Apaa, I think that was around 2017. It was really very difficult to communicate because I would actually, the technique that the locals had was to pour water in a plastic bottle, these soda bottles that were plastic ones. Pour water, then get a hat, one of the hats, and then hang those bottles there. Then you can go and make a call around there. I do not know what technology that was, but it worked. In the rest of Apaa, you wouldn't make any call. Then, of course, also earlier on, we had Honorable Betty Aola-Chan talking about an incident that happened when she was a leader of opposition, when she tried to access Apaa. I was there that day. She was with Honorable Semuju Nganda and other MPs as well from the region and also from outside the region. So some of these things I've expressed them firsthand. We will now, Dr. Labeja, I want you to just keep your question very brief to 1 minute. Then we listen to Major General Felix Busisori, whose network I think has stable. I see he's online. He's been online for last about 5 minutes, and his mic is also active. Yes, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Omago, and thank you very much every panelist and also those who have sacrificed their time to always be on the Northern Baraza. For me, my issue concerning Apaa is I feel the government is not being honest to the Ugandans because the conflict started in 2012 when it was announced that Apaa is going to be gazetted for Uganda Wildlife Authority. That is where every issue started. And before that, people were living happily. There was no conflict. Why should it wait until the government announces that it is going to be gazetted, then conflict starting? I feel personally there's some syndicate which is being played. Like the current speaker, Mr. James said, there's a guy, an investor called Bruce, who is believed to have bought land. For me personally, from my own perspective, I feel the land has been sold and then they're looking for a way to now hand over the land to the investor, because why should you first begin by saying that we have gazetted the land, then you begin bringing clashes between the tribes which were living peacefully before? So that is my perspective, and I feel putting Apaa as a new district, unless government be honest that this is what is on ground, is not going to solve the problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this moment now, let's welcome Major General Felix Busisori, the commander of the UPDF 4th Infantry Division. You're most welcome, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening to you too.
First of all, I want to thank you, Mr. Joseph Omagol, for organizing this baraza.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to say that the security situation in Apaa is relatively calm. We have not had any attempts of some groups trying to cause bloodshed, but UPD has created a buffer between the two communities. So the killings are no longer. Apaa is a cosmopolitan, as other members have said. It has attracted people from all parts of Uganda, from all parts of our neighborhood, Rwanda, Congo, South Sudan, because of the search for burning sharp and also for cultivation. Also being near areas which host refugees, it has also intensified the problem. As other members were saying, it lacks service delivery. People are suffering. Recently, somebody said, I created a medical camp to help to treat people in Lajarra, in a sub-county of Wulakang. Now I think we would be thinking about how to improve the livelihood of people instead of fighting on unnecessary wars. I don't remember the year when Ethiopia and Eritrea went into war, fighting for a small hill. The economy completely collapsed because of a hill which could not benefit either of the two countries. So when we go for anything, it should be something that is justifiable. If we are fighting the issue, or can't we occupy space where all of us effectively thrive economically? On the declaration of the district, of course, we have not yet been consulted as the security, but of course, for us, we would welcome any idea that would improve the situation. And I think creating a district creates neutrality. That area becomes a bit neutral because it doesn't belong to Ajumani. So the two leaders from the two districts need to accept that we need to have a solution, a lasting solution for this. Because the question is, if if this area was taken to Amur, would it improve the welfare of the people? If it was taken to Ajuman, would it improve the economic status of the people of Ajuman, or it would benefit a few individuals who are in leadership positions? So it is unfortunate that I've been hearing some leaders drumming for bloodshed. It is really unfortunate. Calling people to kill each other just because of small piece of land, I think is unfortunate. And as leaders, I think we need to stop it. The most important thing in this is dialogue. If we can discuss and get a lasting solution, I think it would be very important. But as security, we shall not allow any bloodshed to take place. We have created a buffer zone between the two communities, and we shall not allow anybody to disrupt peace. Apaa had started, the people in becoming a bit economically independent because they are practicing agriculture. Though of course they were destroying the environment, which we have stopped. We have completely stopped the destruction of that environment. Though some individuals, of course, still sneak, but it will stop. So we are appealing to government and the leaders from the two districts that we need to have a lasting solution, which would be creation of a district. For us, we would support because it will be neutral to all sides. Then we have been carrying out mobilization and sensitization so that people coexist with each other. Tribalism is something that is too awkward, too backward. Because all of us are blacks, we are the same. Why should we start fighting and killing each other over something that is irrelevant? Number two, Uganda. That Apaa, there is a lot of minerals, there is even if there were minerals underground belong to government. They don't belong to individuals. Districts would benefit, but that shouldn't be a riding factor. Thirdly, we have to registration in Apaa to know who is staying in Apaa. Because some time back, it had become a hiding area for some ADF gentlemen. We arrested 3 from there, meaning that we could be having other operatives hiding those bushes in Apaa. All this is happening because it was an ungoverned space. People took advantage because it was an ungoverned space, and people went in to create chaos. Some members saying UPDF is useless there. I think that was not called for, because UPDF went there, or was not there. It went there when killings had intensified, and once it entered in, the killings completely stopped. So those who are calling UPDF to withdraw are the people who want confusion in that area because of their individual personal. We have had circumstances where leaders have brought surveyors to survey land for their personal benefit. I think the two districts needed to look into this. Those leaders who are trying to survey land for their personal interests, and they are the ones who are drumming for bloodshed. Because why should you bring somebody to be killed in those? And I think those should be held responsible for sure. somebody calling people to kill each other, he should be held responsible in case if there is any killing. Otherwise, Apaa for now is peaceful and we shall continue ensuring peace until a lasting solution is reached. I thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Fande. And of course, that is the 4th Division Commander, Major General Felix Busi. Sorry. Kindly stay online. We've got one more minute for each of the speakers, just in case there's anything. We shall give 3 minutes to Honorable Betty Ocan after you've spoken. I know she might want to say something as a legislator. We've so far had I think, divided opinions coming in from the speakers. Others are saying creating a district is a good thing to do. Also, the comments coming in online here. I have okay, Dima. I've read a lot of your comments, but let me read one from Plymouth. Plymouth says here, for my Madi brothers, the entire Jumani district is the entire Jumani is in Acholi sub-region. It is by no means a West Nile district because we all know what West and Nile mean. I think it just means the location of Ajumani is on the eastern side of the Nile. I think more of the comments you can as well read in case you are interested. You can read and find them there. But let me give a chance to Ferdinand. Ferdinand has not spoken, but he had left a comment. Ferdinand, the mic is yours. Say something just briefly in 1 minute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can
Yeah,
hear you.
two quick questions. Not questions, but the first one is a response to the demarcation of Jumani as in the Acholi sub-region. The definition and the geographical perimeter of West Nile actually is a more political one. It always emanated from the previous region or district of Moyo, which was Jumani was part of Moyo. So actually, when we talk of West Nile, we mean the whole of that region, including Ajumani, which was originally part of Moyo. But as a question, I'd actually quite wanted to ask our representative of the UPDF. I should start by respecting and applauding their role in standing by wherever their communities who are in dispute or are in peril of risking lives and limb of each other. My question is this. The UPDF will be called upon when there is insecurity, but where the issues of administration, especially the demarcation of borders and where a district lies, actually that is not first and foremost an issue for the UPDF. So whenever there is a crisis between communities, yes, we understand the UPDF will come in, and God knows they have any reason to live until there is peace that is held. But the other question for me is, now that he's not here yet, but I would have liked to ask this question to Honorable Akol. Why is it that there's a huge interest, and I think the representative of the UPDF alluded to it, that possibly we need to create a district so that it is not part of a Germany or a More, because each of the people, the different persuasions, think they are part of a Germany or part of a More. It looks like the Madi and Acholi are fighting. But by the way, if you create a smaller Apaa district, you are then going to leave these two populations of people who hate each other. Is it going to be any simpler to resolve the dispute? The dispute existed because of underlying issues. Creating another district, I don't think is going to solve that. If anything, we're going to have to need the UPDF there for forever to keep a green line between the Acholi and the Madi. I think their calls should explain to us, why does forming a new district provide a solution to their power problem? Because the Madi and Acholi have lived coexisted peacefully for so long. That is my question. If I get an opportunity next time, I'll be a panelist and I'll speak at length about this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ferdinand, and I think your questions are noted. I'll now take the microphone to Stella. Stella, you have a minute and a half.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm glad that I had the privilege to live in Madilan for about 3 years peacefully. No single day that a Madi man shouted at me or harassed me. So I speak in terms of peace, not in terms of violence. But now, if our Acholi leaders have opted for creation of a district, my question is, the law is very clear that at least the population should be about 100,000 people. That is minimum. So my question is, do we have the number of people in Apaa totaling to above 100,000? So do we think creating the district will resolve the conflict? Those are the questions I'm asking the framers of the motion that Apaa be created a district. And if it's a district, our service is going to be brought closer to the people. Who are the leaders who are going to come to vie in Apaa? Will the leaders come from Noya? I mean, rather, from Apaa, from Ajumani, or from Acholi land? Those are the questions we should have. But for me personally, as Stella, I see no justification for creation of a district because we've been living peacefully. If, like the former speaker spoke, if we identify the issues and resolve the issues, then there is no need for creation of a district. And if the Ajumani people believe that Apaa is in Ajumani, then the movers of the motion should come from Ajumani district. But if Apaa is in a Acholi sub-region, then Honorable Call is right to propose that Apaa be made a district. So the conflict, I feel, is still going to be fueled in over and over again, and we shall continue seeing the presence of the UPDF in Apaa, which is very good. It has been very instrumental for the past 2 years. I last heard of the conflict in 2003 where we walked to Pabo, but since 2023 to now, we've seen peace. We've seen most of the community engagement happening. For me, I feel UPDF should continue occupying the place. Social services should be brought closer to the people, and creation of a district to me is a waste of government resources. Thank you.
Very much, Honorable Council Stella Kijange. And let me give a chance now to Solomon. Solomon, you have 2 minutes.
Well, thank you so much, Joseph, and all the panelists for today. And also, this topic is really pertinent the well of the people of Germany and the people of Acholi. To start with, I really want to appreciate the 4th Division Commander for at least he has tried his best to tell us the importance of the UPDF in that area. But also, whenever you see now the UPDF or whenever you see a soldier, all soldiers now moving in one place over and over again, what you know is that there is insecurity. Obviously, you feel insecure. Yeah. Um, People should be free. People should have peace. They have to move um, whenever they want or whenever they wishes. They have to move. But you find that the people are always maybe they are confined at night because of fear for their lives. So this still comes back that there is something that needs to be done. And also, when you look at what is happening now as in the political arena, as pertains this issue, the Honorable MP Akol is now basing himself on the fact that Apaa should be given a district. So for me, I feel is looking it as a political capital, but the essence is who is the sole owner of this land. The president has already announced. For him, is an Acholi. What viability do we have? What hope do we have as the Acholi people that this land is still ours? So him going to State House, I think it is just something that he wants to have that gain. But generally, the people of Acholi, I feel they are losing. They are really losing in this. So somebody should not base himself or herself on the fact that the creation of a Apaa is going to create everlasting peace. But what could be some of the effects of creating a district? I have given a number of issues, and most of those issues, they are critical, that needs to be analyzed. They are critical, that needs to be discussed. Through consultations, but not as making decisions as a sole person. In that way, we shall not be resolving the community interest. We shall be putting citizens at risks that will not be something which is good, because anytime we may expect anything bad. But I appreciate the UPDF as any other person is appreciating for now. But let us hope that deploying the UPDF there is for a specific time, that the issues shall be resolved, but afterwards they are going to withdraw. I also heard recently the Prime Minister of Uganda saying OWA has already been rationalized. They're already no longer in existence. That's what she said. So right now, we should no longer encourage or allow OWA to intimidate people or to suppress people on that land. The ministry that is now in charge of OWA is now the Ministry of Water and Environment. So let us stand back now from OWA. Let us start engaging the Ministry of Water and Environment. What could be the solutions moving forward, other than the leaders in one way or the other conflicting? People are dying innocently. We are not going anywhere. We still have a lot to discuss. It's not going to be a one-day thing. Peace is never a one-day thing. We shall continue engaging time and again until one day we shall see light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you so much.
Hello, 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 hello.
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 Yes, Honorable Beto, we
Yes,
can hear you.
Solomon.
Yes. Uh, uh,
Yeah.
thank you
Though
very much.
the problem is we are not seeing where the horse is. Probably is off, but you can speak. I think the people are hearing you.
Yes, thank you very much. I just would like to thank everybody for all the contributions, because this is an effort for us to look for a peaceful coexistence in Apaa.